I didn't know what to do, bro. And I'm hearing every opinion. Some people are applauding me for bringing it up. Some people are saying, why'd you wait 2 years to bring it up? And then some people are saying I'm an L friend for bringing it up. Like I told you guys yesterday, I had 3 rules, and I believed he broke one of those rules.
So this is another case of I just rolled out of bed and I clearly need to clean my room. Every time I make one of these videos is low-key kind of embarrassing, but I'll get to it eventually. We got one last response from FaZe Rain where he addresses an apology to Temperrr. And the first thing I want to show you is Temperrr had this tweet, which is what brought it to my attention. At 10:57 a.m. Eastern time, Temperrr said, "I'm glad we can agree I don't deserve this label. Thanks for the apology, I guess. Thanks for ruining my life." And obviously he's not going to be very happy about it, because if somebody now comes out and apologizes and says, you know what, maybe I was wrong, after you've already said all that shit publicly, inevitably that's still going to follow him. That's still got a footprint on the internet. There's going to be a lot of people that may not see this last Rain video, that might not see my video, or might not see any of this, and they're just going to go off into the sunset thinking Temperrr's a pedo. That's what he is. I saw the information. That's what I believed. So let's just dive into Rain's response, and then we can kind of talk a little bit about it at the end.
So I just got off a 4-hour call with Emma, which is Tommy's wife and the mother of his child. And she was so cool, so rational, so understanding. She was just, pouring her heart out to me, venting and talking about how this has affected her life, And that's what a lot of people tend to forget, is how much these things affect people's real lives. I know it's just Twitter to you guys. You're just weighing in on an opinion. You type some shit, you move on, you type some other shit on a different thing. But it really does affect these people's lives, bro, especially when it's something this sensitive, So please keep that in mind. But I do want to say this. I want to first and foremost retract the statement that I called him a pedophile, because that wasn't fair to do. By the way, I wiped my camera. I don't know what's still happening. Okay? I wiped my camera. I don't know what's happening. But it's not fair to label somebody as a pedophile, especially when they supposedly did not know this girl's age. I've known Tommy for 15 years. It's not like he ever went around preying on young girls or telling me he likes young girls or any of these things. So that's why I was such a shock when he told me what he told me. He just never told me that he didn't know their ages. If he did, it'd be a whole different story. It'd be a whole different story if he didn't know their ages, right? And I never would have felt as deep about it as I did. And I never would have wanted him to step down in 2023 if he didn't know their ages. I thought he did know their ages. And then even when we talked about it after, he didn't say he didn't know their ages, and I don't know why. Sometimes, and also, I've known him, and then also with Emma bringing it up, he just sometimes sells the fucking bag. He just sells the bag when it comes to delivering all the right information. You know what I mean? He doesn't say it all the right way. Maybe he was frantic and just didn't know what to say or do, so he just withheld that information, which I don't think he realized would have not made me look at him in that light if he was truly ignorant to the fact that they were under 18. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he knew that, it would be a whole different story. If I knew that, it would be a whole different story. So I do apologize for that. I do want to retract that label, because that label is so evil. We all agree there's no room for pedophiles in our world, but there is room for somebody that had no idea, and they were latching from a girl who snuck into a club that was 21 plus and got with a guy who was older, not known. You know what I'm saying? But I also don't know how hookup culture works. I don't know if you guys, every time you guys hook up with a girl at a club, you check their ID. I don't know. I don't drink alcohol. Never hooked up with a drunk chick that wasn't my girlfriend, so I don't know. Okay? I have no idea how that shit works. I don't know what the customs are. So that's a whole different conversation, but I do want to apologize for that. I will take full accountability. If you guys want to project blame on anybody, you can, of course, put it on me. I'm totally cool with that. I always am. It does not affect my life. It's cool. I'm a strong guy. I can figure it out. It's cool. But I do feel so horrible for that. And not for myself. When I tweeted saying I feel horrible, it was not for myself. It's for everybody involved. Obviously, like, people try to act like I'm trying to make it about myself. So I'm going to take a couple seconds to talk about that. Brother, I do not want this game. I have slept a total of like 6 hours in the last 2 days. I've eaten nothing for the last 2 days. Nothing. This is not easy on me in any way, shape, or form. I'm not sitting here happy as fuck about this sucks, bro. This fucking sucks. Okay? It's not what I want to fucking hear. It's not what I want to fucking deal with. And yeah, I brought it to the internet, but I didn't know what to do, bro. And I'm hearing every opinion. Some people are applauding me for bringing it up. Some people are saying, why'd you wait 2 years to bring it up? And then some people are saying I'm a fucking L friend for bringing it up. Like I told you guys yesterday, I had 3 rules, and I believed he broke one of those rules. But if he was ignorant to that, of course he didn't break that rule, because he had no idea. And again, he does not go preying on young women. So to even call him a pedophile to that degree is not fair. Does it stem from what I initially said? Yeah. But honestly, the first day I even brought it up and I didn't say who it was, I deleted everything from that stream. I was going to dodge stream for 2 weeks. I swear to God, you can be mad at me for that if you want. I was going to dodge stream for like 2 weeks and not go live. Because I just felt so fucking bad, bro. I just felt so fucking bad. Then I woke up. Feared Buck posted a tweet about it. Banks made a statement about it, essentially confirming that it was Temperrr who I was talking about. And then my hand was forced and I had to. But again, it's my fault that happened. I can't even blame Fearbuck for that because he wouldn't have had a tweet if I never said nothing, right? So it's my fault. But it just sucks, man. It just truly sucks. I really truly thought I was doing something good, but then I thought I'd get this weight off my chest. Instead, I added a 500-pound vest. So it is what it is. I'm sorry to every single person involved. I hope you guys can realize how much this affects people's real lives. Just please, if you still want to just get your little internet troll out, just get it out on me, bro. I promise I can take it. I love you guys. Anybody that had my back, even Tommy's back, whoever, just like anybody that's trying to preach love and preach positivity throughout all this, you're a fucking real one, bro. You're exactly what this world needs. So I love you guys, and I'm just sorry for everything.
So I don't want to make this video too long, but there's a few things that I'm still questionable on. Like it's hard for me to believe that you had a conversation with friends. It escalated to the point where they didn't want you in the group anymore, or he wasn't going to rejoin. And never once did it cross your mind to be like, bro, I didn't know her age. I get that you're mad, but I had no clue that she was this age. So I just don't feel like that doesn't come up. I feel like that would 100% be the first thing that you lead with when you're trying to defend yourself and explain your side of the story. And if that wasn't the case, it's hard for me to believe that. Now, at the same time, I will say, though, that you should take somebody's actions into account before you try to label them something like that, because if you've known him for 15 years and there's never been an instance where you've seen him talk to young girls, try to talk to young girls, be around young girls, he's never done anything like that before or after this situation that he presented to you, then it's unlikely that that's something that he actually is and that he's actually seeking that kind of shit out. It could be a multitude of things that people still don't agree with, like maybe he did know and made a very bad choice when he was drunk, which is not a good look, but it doesn't mean that he's praying and looking for people that are a certain age, right? Like it could be that he didn't know at first. He's drunk, he's vibing, they know they're going to go back together, he's attracted to her, then he finds out, and he still goes through with it because there are some people that are stupid like that. I'm just being honest with you. So it's like, doesn't make it okay. It doesn't, but at the same time, it doesn't make him have a label of somebody that's going out and actively seeking. Like when you look at these videos where they catch these guys trying to meet a young girl who's like 8 or 12 or something, and they got hard drives and phones filled with this kind of shit and connections with all sorts of weird groups on these different apps and stuff like that, because I've watched Gideon videos. He actually did some, or one in my own town, which we did a video on, which was insane. Didn't know the person, which I was surprised because age-wise, I feel like I knew a lot of people in that group, but didn't know who he was. But that shit is like the next level, right? And obviously there's less extreme versions of that, and I'm not saying that that can't be the truth in this situation, but based on, like, again, I'm just going off of not knowing any of these people, and I'm trusting Rain, I'm trusting Banks, I'm trusting that these people would have said, like, hey, he's done this before. If they're not saying all of that, then I feel like it was most likely he either didn't know, which is still hard for me to believe he wouldn't have brought that up, or he did find out and made a really bad decision, but doesn't normally go for something like that, if that makes sense. So it's just one of those tough things where it is unfortunate because regardless of what it is, that's out on the internet now. It's going to affect him. It's going to affect his family. It's going to linger for at least a little while, but even now, years down the road, if he decides he wants to stream or do Call of Duty or whatever it is, there's going to be somebody that's going to pop in and be like, wait, isn't he? And it's going to continue. That's just the way that shit like this happens once it takes fire. And it's just something that I hope doesn't affect his kid, because obviously his kid, his wife, like, they don't have anything to do with this. They're just unfortunate victims in it because of the fact that they're a family with him. So let me know what you guys thought down below. I just figured we should definitely cover the last portion of this because he apologized. And it seems like he's still maybe a little on the fence, but he's trying to take into account everything that he had in the conversation with his wife and so on and so forth, and came to the conclusion that, you know what, I was wrong. I shouldn't have labeled him that. And I would agree with him. I think we throw that word around a little bit too lightly and way too easily. And in the long run, it's only going to take the emphasis away from it. I mean, I don't think, I'm be honest with you, I don't know if that's even possible because of the gravity of what it means. But at the same time, we can't be calling every person that until there's actual proof that they're actively seeking out shit like that. So that's why in all my videos, I talked about it based on what was presented, but I didn't call him that myself or say that I believed that he was. It was more so that he might have done some F shit that he shouldn't have done, and we'll kind of see as more information comes out. And I feel like that's how we should always address these situations. You should never just jump in and be like, yo, it's true. Like, let's feel it out. Let's find out what kind of information we got, and then we can go from there. So take it easy, stay safe. I'll catch you in the next one, homies.